And just like that, poof, you have conversions for gallons, pints, quarts, and cups. All four measurements right here in front of you. What's up, guys? My name is Mickey Gamonal, and I am back tutoring some ASVAB questions. Before I get started today, I want to shout out one of my students, Monica, who noticed that this video, or at least the answer to this, was kind of misplaced in one of my quizzes. So thanks. Great catch, Monica. Anybody who ever notices anything wrong in any of my stuff, go ahead and let me know. I want to fix it and make it better. And that's what tutors and students and everybody does, is we always try to get better. So major thank you to Monica for helping me to build a better course. And so what we're doing today is we're talking about measurement. So this is the fourth question on the measurement section of my class. So if you go into my math class under measurement, inside of measures, that's where you can find this particular question. And so let's talk about it. A snack bar sold 12.5 gallons of milk at 35 cents a pint. How much did the snack bar receive? So identifying the question is super crucial. You got to focus on the question. What is the question asking, right? So we want to separate the question, and then there's all of the information. So 12.5 gallons of milk, 35 cents per, and then this part is key, the pint. So if you did 35 times 12.5, that's one of the mistakes the ASVAB's trying to make you make, right? If you do 35 cents times 12.5, you're not doing it by how much it costs per pint. 35 cents for every pint is a smaller amount than 35 cents per gallon. So you have to convert pints to gallons. Now, the way that you do this, I never remember how to convert pints to gallons. So I always draw the same picture. And I recommend you do the same when you start your math or arithmetic reasoning sections. First, you draw a big G. That's going to represent gallon. Then you're going to draw 4 Q's, quart. And then inside of each quart is 2 pints. P, 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 P. And then inside of each pint is going to be 2 cups. And I'll just do little C's. Itty bitty C's, right? Because cups are small, right? So cups are the smallest amount. And so you're going to do 2 C's for each pint. And just like that, poof, you have conversions for gallons, pints, quarts, and cups. All 4 measurements right here in front of you. So 12.5 gallons, you can figure out, okay, well, how many pints are in 1 gallon? And so how many P's are in this 1 G? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pints equals 1 gallon. So 12 times 8 is going to give me pints in 12 gallons. And then I'll show you something really cool to find the half. Okay, so 12 times 8, 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1, 96. So that's 96 pints in 12 gallons. For that last half, we'll just cut this gallon in half, and look at that. We'll count these ones. How many pints is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So really easy to figure out how many pints are in a half gallon when you have it drawn out like this. 4 pints inside of my half gallon. So I'm going to add 4 more, and that gives me 100. 100 pints total. This is beautiful, right? Because as soon as you have a nice round number like 100, it's really easy to work with. So if it's 100 pints at 35 cents per pint, you're just going to do 35 times 100. Or 35 hundredths, also known as 35 cents. 35 with 2 zeros on it. And so there we have, okay, boom, $35. Super fast, super easy. If you have 35 cents times 100, you're going to multiply 100 by pints by that 35 cents, and you'll get that $35. So that's the way to go through and figure out the rate. So the cost per pint is given 35 cents per pint, and then you have to convert how many pints did it sell. Not how many gallons, how many pints. So that's the trick that you want to be on the lookout for. And the answer here, $35 altogether, because you sold 100 pints total. All right, so once again, let me burn through it real quick. 12.5 gallons of milk, 35 cents per pint. First, we have to be like 12.5 gallon equals question mark pints. And lucky for us, we remember, okay, and I like, if you look online, you're gonna see a whole bunch of pictures of this G to P thing. So you can see these pictures here. It's not just me making this up. Very common to teach it this way. You have a gallon 4 quarts inside the gallon, 2 pints per quart, and 2 cups per pint. So you just use this beautiful picture, and that's going to make this super easy. I don't need the pints or the quarts and cups anymore. Well, I still need the quarts because they're big, but I don't need cups anymore. So I won't waste time drawing those C's. And I can see right here, okay, cool. Altogether, 2, 4, 6, 8 pints per gallon. So I'll do 12.5 times 8. And if you want, you could do it with the decimal. That's not that big of a deal. Half of 8 is 4, so you can kind of do that in your head anyway. But 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And altogether, you're like, wait, that's 1,000. But there's a decimal there. So anytime there's a decimal in the question, you got to make sure and put that decimal in your answer as well. So 100 pints sold. So this is 12.5 gallons, and this is 8 pints per gallon. And so you multiply however many gallons by the rate. And then you do the same thing again. We're going to say how many pints, 100 pints, and then we're going to multiply that by how much does it cost per pint. Well, that's given, right? 35 cents per pint. So you're just going to times that by 0.35 per pint. And then the cool thing about multiplying a decimal by 100 is all you got to do is shift the decimal. So if you times something by 10, you're shifting the decimal to the right, and you get, 6 times 10 is 60. So it becomes 6.0 to 60. Same thing here. We're going to start with 0.35, times that by 100. We shift that decimal 2 times, and you get 35 total. And that's where that $35 comes from. So hopefully this makes sense. Solved a couple different ways. There's a lot of other ways you could go through and solve it. You could memorize that pints are per gallon, so you don't have to draw this picture. You don't have to figure out what a half gallon is. Plenty of different ways to get there. But ultimately, you're going to have to use rates, and you're going to have to use knowledge of measurement to solve this question. You need to know how many pints are in a gallon, and then you need to know how to apply rates. So if it's this much for this thing, what if I have 10 of this things? How much is that? That's the kind of idea that comes with rates. So be ready for that. Remember to be kind to yourself and treat yourself as a learner. And I hope you enjoyed this video. One last shout out to Monica. Thanks for catching this question in my quiz. And if you want to see more questions like this answered and explained, you can actually take my math course right here, gamonaltutors.com. Go ahead, give that a shot. Let me know. And maybe you could be featured in the next video. Thanks so much.